What is up, guys? Ed coming back at you here. As you can see, this is my 8th episode. You can peep the banner down there and all this stuff. Once again, I want to say thanks to AG Kazi of Always Godlike for hooking me up with the not only the suggestion to use XSplit, but the Photoshop work that he did for me. I'm tired. This is the Thursday after NEC, and I wanted to kind of talk about, as you can see, NEC Wrapup and FGC companies. I want to talk about the companies that promote us and keep us going and willing to sponsor us, and wrap up my feelings on NEC and everything that happened. So, Philly was fun. It was definitely a good time. The Clarion, some like it, some don't. It's not the Sheraton Suites, but I wish the Sheraton Suites just had like an extra ballroom that we could use, because that hotel is fantastic. For those who don't know, that's a hotel in Philly that Summer Jam is usually held at until we outgrow it. But the hotel is just a column, and you can look straight up. And so up to as far as like 10 floors, you can see people like walking around in the halls and stuff like that. And it's a really great hotel for a major. The problem is that the main ballroom is very small, and there are a couple side rooms. So like we only run Capcom games in the main ballroom, and then NetherRealm has a room, Anime has a room, and then 3D has a room. I think that's how we did it before. Anyway, NEC. Obviously Smug took Street Fighter 4. I'm not really going to talk about any other game besides Street Fighter 4, because I don't particularly care that much. Smug really showed me a lot. I mean, it's not like he hasn't put in the time or anything, but he's a young guy, and he's just blowing everything up right now. I think if Smug were to be able to get into Capcom Cup, he had the opportunity to, then he would definitely show some of the Japanese players a thing or two, because there is no Dudley at his level, ever. There never will be. Same thing with Pepe Dai. There is no Forte on his level, and that's evident. I mean, we have good Fortes like Iperu from Utah, Spab from New York, but no one is on Pepe Dai's level right now. I got to meet Snake Eyes again, but I finally got a picture with him this time. I love that guy. He's the greatest. Street Fighter 4 was very fun, eventful. Got to see a lot of people that I hadn't normally seen. I got to watch Snake Eyes and Capcom's Hero, and I usually get bodied by him. Goken Zangief's not good, but it was good. It was a good little study match. I staffed, of course, with Combat Network, and Injustice was good. Injustice and MK were free to enter, so there was a lot of DQs, because a lot of the times if the game is free and the cap was 128, I think, people just sign up and say they're going like 4-2 in their pool or something like that, and they have an opportunity to make it out of losers or whatever it may be. They'll say, fuck it, I'm not going to play the free game, whatever. And so that's what ended up happening a lot for Injustice. Can't stress it enough, guys, that just be aware of what you're playing, and be aware of where you're supposed to be at what time, because there were a couple people that we had to DQ, not just myself, that just weren't there in time for their pool. If we call you, it's your responsibility to be there. And it was a free game. People were really butthurt over it being a free game. I don't care. So I got a final tomorrow, and then next week. So I should be studying right now. Moving on, FGC companies. There are obviously the companies that run the tournaments, like CEO or Biggie Gaming, etc. I don't know if you can call it a company per se. It's an organization. There are the streaming companies, such as Team Spooky, Level Up Live, etc. Then we have the retail companies, and this is always an issue with being quote-unquote esports and getting that real corporate sponsorship that we're not FGC players. Like, I've had my 360 for 8 years now. I just bought my Asus monitor relatively recently, but Asus isn't going out sponsoring tournaments. Microsoft isn't going out sponsoring tournaments, but like, if you need, like, I don't really play these computer games like League of Legends or anything like that, but I'm assuming that you're going to have to update your graphics card maybe every two or 3 years. So there's a product that you're going to have to buy, and keyboard and mouse and whatever. Again, I don't really know, and I don't read, so it's just another thing that you can attribute to why the FGC doesn't have more corporate backing. Of course, the player base for those games is so much larger. It's very unfortunate that Mad Catz has kind of fallen off as a sponsor in the fighting game community, both with teams and sponsoring tournaments itself. I remember Mad Catz used to sponsor big gaming events pretty frequently. It's just a shame. I really like that company. But Adark was just a sponsor. So there's definitely people still out there. And so if you look at the smaller retail companies in the fighting game community, such as Dynamic Custom Beadworks, Broken Tier, Clutch It Out, Mike, just his shirts are actually really cool. Not saying that no one's better than anyone. Okay. You know what? Dynamic is better. They sponsor tournaments. All you other guys, you suck. It's just hard for the FGC, for companies to sponsor people in the FGC. Besides, like, teams, I mean, a lot of people are paying out of pocket for themselves and someone they sponsor. So it's definitely not easy. I was considering it, but right now I'm in school. I don't have any income. It's not really something that I can do. That being said, we do have the Steam Co. I want to give a shout out to Craig and everyone at the Steam Co. Jamal. There was a woman at NEC. I didn't catch her name. I'm sorry. They were all really cool. They had they had an Xbox One and a 360 over at the Steam Co. table, so people were playing around there. Of course, they sponsored CD Junior and Sanford. They were responsible for putting on that exhibition in which Sanford won 10-9 against Justin. So that was the Steam Co. is definitely a company that can kind of capitalize on the FGC, yet they're not really hurt by sponsoring events, and I hope it stays worthwhile for them, because I really like them and what they do. It's a good product. Definitely check them out, steamco.com. I think I have my shirt somewhere in there in my closet. You guys know that purple shirt, that famous purple shirt. I'm wrapping it up here. It was NEC was very tiring. I don't like DQing people. I'm kind of getting tired of running. I like the people in NRS. I just don't like the games right now. Next major, I don't think I'm gonna run. I don't want to run NRS games. I want to run Capcom games again. It's just more fun to run a game that I care about. Anyway, I'm gonna go study, and have a good night, everybody.